Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Simon and we are the Wells of Wall Street. Guys, we're going to be talking about IOTA, that is Miota or IOTA on the exchange. So we've done a video recently on the staking, how to get IOTA into the Firefly wallet ready for the Shimmer token, the SMR token. Guys, obviously another option and project available via this process is SMR ASMB. Guys, this project in itself is phenomenal. Treating IOTA as, of course, like the base layer, if you like, adding Shimmer on top and Assembly for its smart contract capabilities. This whole mechanism, this whole ecosystem already is going to be absolutely phenomenal. But let's just take a quick look at this article before we go into a bit more detail about those aspects, as well as the chart of IOTA as well. So, guys, Assembly has achieved, I think, not necessarily bang on, but it's certainly around $100 million from private investors, including the likes of LD Capital, Hyperchain, and Huobi Ventures. So LD Capital, for what I know them of a few different projects like Credo, for example, from a security token aspects, and the likes of Anchor. But of course, they've got a multitude of projects that they have helped invest into to keep them going, and also start them from a launchpad perspective. And this is brilliant, guys, because Assembly in itself is a giant in the making, in my opinion. As I said, a nice layer on to IOTA's initial aspects and protocols. What I'm loving about this is how this is going to integrate with all the other aspects like Shimmer, for example, and complete this entire phenomenal DAG system. We talked about decentralized credit graphs in a video recently. Go and check that out. I'll leave a link at the end of this video. But for me personally, I sort of do sit here most times now and think, of all the things I've learned about blockchain, especially in the diploma that I did and everything like that, when I see and learn more about the DAG aspect technology, in my opinion, it's like the evolution of blockchain. And I always had so many questions over many years, both working in the IoT and AI industry, like how are we going to get to an automated system, like a world of automation, autonomous aspects, transactions on our behalf. And when I learned more about the Tangle mechanism of IOTA, which is essentially the name they've given to the DAG that they're presenting here, the more it made sense in my head. And then obviously Assembly's come along, Shimmer has come along, and we should feel blessed, guys, because this is incredible. And from what I've read a few weeks back on the IOTA Foundation in regards to the staking mechanism, is when you're putting your IOTA tokens into the Firefly and getting it ready for staking, which by the way is not live yet, but I am preparing, like hopefully many of you out there are as well, to take advantage of this. They will run parallel. So you will get the SMB token and the Assembly token, ASMB, at the same time simultaneously. Now they do have different values. Assembly here, for example, I'll just put 1,000, let's change that to MI quickly because that represents the IOTA one. So I don't have a massive amount of IOTA. I'm just going to put 100 in here, for example. 311 in terms of ASMB. Shimmer, obviously slightly different pricing mechanism, but you're still on both aspects, by the way, going to receive staking rewards every 10 seconds throughout this 90-day period. Of course, the number is slightly different, but for me right now, I can't sort of put that into a monetary value. It looks like it's obviously a lot more tokens, but price points obviously will reflect that as well. But we'll have a look into that in a bit more detail. By the way, if anyone in the community anywhere knows the difference between these, from what I gathered, it was dependent on how many IOTA you have. But do let us know if you know the difference between MI, GI, TI, etc., so I can complete that analysis, because some people have asked in the comments, and I have seen some people's wallets showing MI and GI. So if anyone knows, do drop that in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll do my own research and make sure I present that in the next video for you guys. That's not a problem. So everything is gearing up, guys. It's very much a very exciting time to see this building almost from scratch, if you like, bringing in these incredible projects into one system. And IOTA, of course, boasting that feeless aspect, and the aspect as well of when Assembly does launch its mainnet next year. And I'm kind of assuming really that after the 90 days has ended, that there'll be a short period of time before that does actually get integrated and launched. We're going to be able to stake our tokens of Assembly ASMB and SMR as well. So not only and by the way, on top of that point, it has mentioned here in the Assembly website about the aspect of the staking. So this is on the iotanews.com website about the fact of 90 days finishing, but actually there will be more periods after that for staking. So not only will you continue to be able to get staking rewards of your IOTA with the SMB and the ASMB tokens, but you will also be able to stake those to obtain more of each as well. It's an incredible ecosystem, and I think we're so early in this, guys. Like it's mind blowing, and I'm super excited to see how it develops, and how it will basically give us all a massive opportunity. Essentially of free tokens in such high value in the future, in my opinion. So really excited to see how this goes. But yeah, I'll leave some links to these at the end of the video in the description as well. And another quick point as well, I think I was reading as well, and I did try and look on GitHub, but from understanding, the Firefly 1.3.0 version is very much in testnet phase right now. So I think we're on the brink of the staking aspect on the Firefly wallet being launched very soon. And here as well, December the 10th, so a couple of days ago, Hornet participation plugin release, so on tangle tracking of ballots and staking events. So very interesting here, the IOTA staking event for Assembly and Shimmer token awards. So very much things are going in the background. The plugin is being put in for the participation aspect. I think we're not far off this, guys, and I was seeing some rumors maybe around the 15th of December being a possible date of this switch on of staking occurring within the Firefly. That's not to say that the staking will start immediately on that kind of day, because from what I understand there might be a week's notice, and that would obviously give people enough time as well to jump into the bandwagon and get more IOTA. And of course you might see the price fluctuation in that once people start realizing what's going on. But we'll just have to try and find out a bit more information in terms of dates. They're not giving anything away at all on the IOTA social platforms. I've checked all of them, Discord, Twitter, everything, and I've even tried to message them, getting nothing, and understandably so, because the last thing you want to do is have some leaks out there and craziness going. They need everything to go smoothly, in my opinion. So that all aside, guys, very exciting stuff. Let us know in the comments below what you're excited about the most, whether that's about Assembly or Shimmer individually, or IOTA individually, or as a combination. Really interested to know your thoughts on IOTA and this whole entire phenomenal ecosystem that is about to be presented to us. So guys, on that note, let's jump into the chart and see where we are currently with IOTA. Smash that like button if you like what you hear and see, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. So guys, here we go on the chart with IOTA using the Binance data here. So obviously quite recently we had the pull down here and the correction. Obviously that has something very much around leveraging and the FUD that was going around crypto in general back then, and very much so it kind of retaliated with hitting resistance to these lower levels and stabilizing itself. I'm just wondering if we'll get another influx of intake once the announcements come a bit clearer, and then might get a bit of FOMO in and people just jumping and chasing for IOTA tokens. My kind of opinion on this, not financial advice, is that if you're interested in doing this kind of staking or getting involved, is to try and accumulate the IOTA as you can, as and when, before any kind of price fluctuations. Obviously if it comes down, even better, but just in case it does fly up, you just got to anticipate these kind of things. Because if you look back here, for example, with a previous announcement in August, you had a jump up here from that 98 cent mark up to nearly pretty much $2.10 over a 3 or 4 day period. So once this kind of announcement occurs and news gets spread out and there's an opportunity for crazy staking opportunities, you might see an influx of that. You could argue that a lot of people have already got them ready, but you know for a fact in this space that many people don't know about it, and that's totally understandable. Just because we know about it doesn't mean like the rest of the population does, right? So we just got to be wary of these, psychological ongoings in the world and how people may react to things. So for me personally, obviously I'd love it to come back down to near $1 again, but I'm not too majorly fussed. I'm bagging as much as I can over these last few days, and now I'll probably have to wait till payday. It might be a bit too late if the Firefly aspect kicks in before then, but I'm doing the best I can. The one important thing is, guys, don't invest what you can't afford to lose, as they say. So just be careful on that. So guys, very much stabilizing ourselves right now just over the 110 mark. That's quite a nice sustainable level. It's certainly something that has been hit in previous times quite recently on a multitude of areas here. We'll just take a look at a couple of them around the August period here, mid-August. We've got the end of August. We did some touchdowns here in the end of September and a couple of those along the way as well. So in my opinion, this is a very much trying to find support at this area. As I said, we've rejected the resistances down nearer the $1 mark. Obviously I wish selfishly it would come back down to that area again, just to save the 10, 20 odd cents off each token, but hey ho, that's the game, right? We try and accumulate in as many dips as we can. But there's a couple of other things I wanted to bring to your attention. This kind of reiterates my point about trying to get hold of them when you can, if you are trying to get involved. There's a couple of notions here. On the histogram here, you can see like the wave is still very much in an overselling capacity, which is quite interesting, considering this staking mechanism that's coming on board soon. But we have seen the last couple of days that reducing. I do anticipate that to continue. Timescales can be quite difficult. I really can't call this one, because if we do have the staking mechanism launch in a few days time, then I can see this being a bit crazy and maybe switching over quicker than we anticipated. And that kind of thought process really entails into the MACD as well, because at the moment, of course, as you can see with this orange and blue mechanism promoting the 1226 close on the EMA, ideally, obviously, that needs to switch over before it goes into a full green mode. But it's very narrow, very wide still. So if we're talking about it organically, I could see this being like a couple of weeks or so before it switches over. But like I said, if the news comes out, I do anticipate this to switch over quite quickly, as people sort of jump in and try and obtain the last elements of trying to accumulate enough to get the staking aspects involved. On the RSI hand of things, in terms of an investments perspective, and on my side, I'm more than happy to be buying at these kind of prices. Personally, this is not financial advice. As you know, in many of my videos on the 14-day, I try and look around that 40 mark, maybe sometimes a bit lower. But the other indicators are looking very strong as well from a buying position on the 28-day 44. Ideally, I want to see that slightly lower, but we did see that, I believe, around 43 anyway, a couple of days ago. So I may have missed that slight boat, but it's still within reach for me to think about that being a positive move for me personally. And again, on the 90-day as well, 3 months, obviously I would like to see that a bit lower. But, around the 50 mark is showing some great stability, which kind of reflects on what we just mentioned here. And also with its current price floating around the 113 mark. So there's just a few things to consider. So just to wrap that kind of thought process up for me personally, not financial advice, but I'm happy to be buying this area. I think it's reducing the risk or limiting the risk aspect. Obviously, if it dips down a bit more, I will definitely be snapping more up. But I'm just anticipating, just in case, that there may be some moves as the time goes by in this short period of time if things get announced. So hopefully that will make sense. But guys, let us know in the comments below what your plans are, what you've been doing. Have you been accumulating for some time with IOTA? I have been talking about IOTA for quite some time, and I've known about it for a long time, and only recently started jumping in. Call me crazy. Sometimes I just have so much in the portfolio, but I thought, do you know what? I need to put my money where my mouth is. Like, I truly 150% believe in this project. Arguably, now, after all my opinions change of the DAG and everything that IOTA stands for, like I said, it's still relatively new compared to a lot of older blockchains, but the potential is there, and the opportunity and the what they're trying to achieve is really bullish from my perspective, and I truly believe in it, to the point where I'm trying to switch actually some older assets or some that are broken even and things like that into IOTA. First of all, helping me reduce my portfolio, of course, but secondly, something I definitely want to get involved in is the staking. So like I said at the beginning of this video, check out our videos at the end of this one. We'll talk about DAG and also the other video for how to stake IOTA and get that onto the Firefly, ready for the awesome anticipation of getting the Shimmer and Assembly tokens. Guys, I'm going to wrap that up there. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next IOTA video, and hopefully it's about the staking launch. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.